Good morning. I'm in a different location, so I'm hoping the sound and everything is okay for everyone. Um, so hello, crazy man. Hoping everybody is fine today. Um, really want to touch base on the energies, and I'm not going to be here on too long because I'm in sort of my main living room area, and people are starting to get up in my house, and then it just starts getting really crazy and noisy because my family is not exactly a quiet family. I canceled for those my poor meditation group. I just this morning or last night it just feeling a little bit odd. Had quite a headache, and I don't get headaches, so I thought, oh my God, I woke up with a headache still this morning. And I just knew that I needed that extra sleep. So that's what I had to do for myself this morning and not be up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Although I was awake, although I didn't sleep much, I was still awake. But to be very coherent in there and present and holding space for people, I feel it's important that I have to be mentally there for people when I do those things. So that to me is an important piece. We have the moon is going through this fiery area between Libra 15 and Scorpio 15. So there's a little bit of feistiness in the air, and we're building up to that full moon. And so information, I think, is going to be revealed to a lot of people. And with that information, it is allowing yourself to be open to the information. Sometimes it's like maybe you don't want to even hear the information. Just read about a beautiful friend who had a stomach issue. And, when I was saying to people, it's important if you're not feeling well to go to the doctor, get it checked out. And she did. And she ended up having an emergency surgery for her, I think, a colon. So, there's things that our body always tells us stuff. So your body might be telling you things, and you might, many of us, just, I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to go in, they're not going to find anything. And the thing is when it comes to your health, when it comes to your body, it's important to find, it's important that you have to sometimes fight for it. Sometimes you have to go in and say, no, this has been prolonging, and you're saying that this is what it is, but I don't feel that's what it is. So can you do some other tests? Good morning, everyone. And that's the thing, is sometimes you have to push it. You have to push for your rights. You have to push for what you feel is right. And others may not like that you're pushing it, that you're, why are you bothering this? Why are you being so bitchy about this? But this is, again, sometimes the questions that you have to ask, even though you don't want to know fully, but you just know, and that's what the energies are today. It's just letting you know that you have to really pay attention to your own health, your well-being, and stand in that, and even let people know that, that's not my thing. And with Saturn too, because Saturn is now saying that, okay, let's go into our review. It's our review time of the year. And that's what Saturn is. Saturn is the time holder. He is the karmic guy. He is going to be, coming and doing some squares to Uranus soon. So there is going to be some crazy disruptions that are going to come up, even today with the moon opposing. And, that opposition to Uranus can bring in some crazy disruptions. And that's what I feel is like we're heading into a very bumpety week. And I mean a real bumpety week with some real holes, I guess, potholes that are there. But if you know where the potholes are, then you can not go through the potholes, but go around the potholes, go around to somewhere else, or take another road. And every time when I picture that, I picture Dr. Wayne Dyer and his PBS special, Excuses Be Gone. because he talks about that road. He talks about that road that you go down, and you have a gut feeling, but you go down that road anyways. And as you go down that road, you fall into this hole, and then you fall into this hole, and then you have to scrape, and you have to figure your way to get back out of that hole again. Then you go along your journey, you get out of the hole, you get going, then you come around again, and you're like, oh, this road looks familiar. And you go along the road again, and there's that big hole. But instead of falling deep, you don't fall as deep, and you get yourself out and you get going, and then you go along your journey, and then the road pops up again. And you're like, oh, I know that road. And you may go down it again. And as you go down it, you find that, oh, I know that there's a hole there. So you really slightly go around. Then finally, you go along your journey and you come across the road again. And you're like, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going down that road. There's another way of doing this. And that's where you step into that new way of doing. And that's where this full moon, Saturn return, Pluto retro, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, all of this energy is saying, hey, you've been down this road before. Are you really wanting to go down it again? Isn't there somewhere new that you'd like to go? Now's the time to looking at that newness, that part of you that you really want to start doing. You really want to start going and stepping forward into it. And that's where the guidance is, and that's where the trust is, and that's where our faith comes in. To have the faith and say, yeah, that is where I want to go. I am stepping forward into that. And I'm putting my hand out because Archangel Chamuel is going to help and lead me. So calling in Archangel Chamuel, he just popped in, and asking him to lead you, asking him for that guidance. And when we work with the angels, we call their name 3 times. Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Chamuel. Help me, guide me, show me the way. So just do that for yourself. Just a moment, just right now, wherever you are, take a moment and say, Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Chamuel. Take a deep breath in and out. You might feel a little energy shift, or you might feel something. It could be a little twinge in your back. It could be your big toe starts to twitch. Okay? Doesn't matter. Trust in it. Allowing for that energy to come in. Asking, guide me, lead me, show me the way. I'm opening up my doors for opportunity and guidance. And then allow for that energy to come and guide you. And that's where the angel comes in. He wants to guide you and show you that, you know what, just trust in us. We're going to lead you onto a new road. We're going to lead you to a place where there's blessings, where there's grace for you. And it's there for all of us. We are coming into some more crazy, turbulent energy, and we're going to be seeing it. We're going to see sort of the arguments and the scuffs out in the consciousness. But this is where we feel it a lot more than we ever have before, because we are so a part of it and being in that air energy. So it's allowing ourselves to take what we need to take, step back, and if you need to sort of regurgitate it, that's what they're showing me, and sit on it. And now they got me a cow. Then you want to sit there and just chew on it for a bit. Sometimes that's what we got to do, is take the information and just chew on it for a bit. We don't have to take it all in at once, because taking it all in at once, could be overwhelming. So we have to take little chunks at a time with this going forward. This is a real beautiful moon to do a ritual. So I do have my workbook. So if you have my full moon workbook, definitely pull it out, start doing the questions. There is a meditation in there also, so that you can do the meditation. We also have the planetary mapping coming up on Sunday. So if you are interested in joining me for the planetary mapping, and it is really getting to know what the planets are and really getting to know and understand why is it such a big deal for Mercury retrograde, and why should I know where Mercury is in my chart. And that just for me, the reason why it's to help you to understand where do you communicate the best? How do you learn the best? What do you like to do with the information? And was Mercury retrograde, on your birth? So if Mercury was retrograde, then you learn. You may learn a little bit different. You might even have had a speech issue, when you were younger because of the Mercury retrograde. So, or if you know somebody with the Mercury retrograde, you might notice that they had issues with communication, or the way they communicate is a lot different than the way other people communicate. So it's important to understand that. So now you're understanding a little bit more of your makeup. You're understanding how that is related to you, and how you're able, it's like another little tool in your toolkit of understanding, hey, I get now, I don't have to beat myself up. This is how my thoughts come in. This is how I'm able to communicate. This is where I'm able to voice my, whatever it is, my opinion, my thoughts, etc. Right? And that has to do where Mercury is, just where his setting is. What sign is he in? What house is he in? That gives you a really good indication of maybe you're a feeler communicator, where you feel things a lot more before you're able to speak it. Maybe you're a communicator that you just get the information and blah, you just say it. Others is that you just have to allow it to, you have to sort of see it to be real. It has to be real, then you can communicate it out. So understanding where your Mercury is gives you an understanding of how you communicate. And that's what we go through with the planetary mapping. Same with Venus. I mean, Venus is the goddess of love. Like, man, when Mercury goes retrograde, here's one. When Mercury goes retrograde, he's going to touch Venus. Boop, and we're going to have, and then he's going to go retrograde. So there's a little bit of a disruption there with Venus. And he comes in, he's kind of like comes in, this god of communication, saying, I'm going on vacation. And she's like, what? What do you mean you're going on vacation? She goes, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to go and I'm just going to go lay back for the next 3 weeks. And so the Venus is like, oh my God, what does that mean for me? What do I need for, what do I need for the rest of my journey? Because he's going to be on vacation. I need to let people, I got to send out my emails and texts and everything before you go on vacation. So, Venus might be in a little bit of a flap because she wants to make sure that, her money's in order, that her love life is in order, things are, her relationships are going well. And this could cause a little bit of disruption with that part, with Venus, right? So understanding where your Venus is and what age is your Venus, what degree. That's what I always love to look at the degree. For instance, my girlfriend has a Venus at 9 degrees, and she calls it her 9-year-old little girl because, you can think of how a 9-year-old is. It's like, ew, boys, yuck, ew, and so she goes, when she first started dating and stuff, and that's what she'd be, is like, ooh, boys. And then, of course, being, an older person, it's like, oh, well, boys aren't too bad. But that internal little girl is there. It's like, ooh, you want a French kiss? Ew, that's gross. And then after, because like, oh, well, it wasn't too bad, was it? That energy comes through, right? So even with tantrums, looking at what degree your Mars is at. And that's how you're, might be portraying how you get angry and how you do things and how pushy, or maybe stomping your feet. And then you got to ask, well, what age are you at? I'm at my 3-year-old Mars, or my 3-year-old, my Venus, because I want to have it that way. So doing the planetary mapping gives you a really good understanding of your own inner child, your archetypes, what is very prominent in your chart, even for your rising sign, because wherever your rising sign, say your rising sign is Cancer, then the moon's the ruler of your chart. So the moon has a huge influence on how you relate, how you see things, how you feel, your intuition, right? So wherever the moon is, and not only in your natal chart, but where it's when it's transiting. So that's what we cover in our planetary mapping. It's exciting. I get excited about it because for me, every time I learn something new about astrology, learn a little bit more, it gives me a much more clear understanding of even me and my craziness and my mix-upness, and why I feel the certain ways I feel, why I get so anxious. How am I learning to honor my body and not feeling like I have to please everybody, because that's a huge part of my chart. So learning that part that I have to say, like last night, I really needed another day off, and I needed to honor that. And in honoring that allows me to show up better, show up more complete and honest. So that's what the chart does. That's what I love about it. And it also shows me little sneak peek previews of the energies that are coming in. It also helps me that's how I do a lot of my, when it comes to my predictions and things on my predictions. How do I, how do I know these things? It's like through taking the courses, getting to understand what Neptune means, what Jupiter is, what Saturn does when he's going retrograde, all of that fun stuff. So it just gives you a real insight, and then you can go on and discover even more from there. So my loves, as I said, my hair is just I think my hair, my husband calls it my lion, my mane, which is funny because my Scorpio's in the 5th house, which is lion. So it's my mane. Go and have a fabulous Monday. It is a day off. If you are wanting, I still have room to do some readings. So if anybody wants their full moon mini reading, they're $25. So get a hold of me. And if you are wanting to go into the planet mapping, definitely let me know. It starts on Sunday, and it's all recorded. It's live, and I record. There are slideshows that you're going to receive after every single one, so you can go through the slideshows again. There's also a workbook that goes along with it. So it's $200 for the whole 8 weeks, or $25 a week, or however, if you want to split it up into 4 payments, that's fine too. So have a blessed one, everybody. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Thanks for being a part of my morning, and have a blessed day. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.